If you've ever raised children, the amount of work that goes into that is unbelievable. Then, one day, they become adults and they're gone. I mean, we know that will happen, but nothing prepares you for what is coming. Suddenly, you look around your house and realize it's quiet, too quiet. And you know, if there's something left to create, now is the time to do so. The kids are gone, the routines have shifted, the calendar isn't packed anymore with school drop-offs. And somewhere between folding that last load of laundry and scrolling on your phone, you think, maybe it's time. Maybe I should finally write my book. If that thought has ever crossed your mind, this episode is for you. Welcome to the Minute Mastery Podcast, a conversational productivity and time management podcast where busy authors and entrepreneurs are inspired to create time for what truly matters. I'm your host, Ngozi Edema. I'm a time management coach, writer, and entrepreneur. Here, you are encouraged to turn your minutes into milestones and to create at least 1 hour a day working on your goals without feeling overwhelmed. When a child goes to school for the very first time, we often talk about how we feel. Mama's daycare was born from that quiet moment when Mama is suddenly left alone and a little helper is gone. In this story, we meet Nene, a bright, imaginative little girl who is excited to start kindergarten. But then she begins to worry. What will her mama do all day without her? So Nene does what children do best. She imagines a solution. She creates a daycare just for Mama, right across the street from her school, filled with fun, comforting activities to keep Mama happy until they are together again. This book is an invitation for parents and children to talk about separation, about worries, about change, and about how love doesn't disappear when routines change. Mama's Daycare helps spark imagination, build empathy, open gentle conversations about big transitions. It's a story for children starting school and for the mamas learning to let go. Just a little. I hope this book becomes a comforting read for your family during this season of change. Mama's Daycare is available in the Kindle store and on paperback cover. Every season of life feels different. At 20, you are transitioning into adulthood. Nothing feels fully clear, but you're still figuring it out. At 30, things begin to make sense. You feel capable, you feel settled. You think, I still have plenty of time. Then you blink and you're 40. You start to feel time differently. You become aware that someday is not guaranteed anymore. You begin asking the deeper questions. At 50, you are no longer proving who you are. You are choosing. You care less about approval and more about aligning with what you value. You feel the push of unfinished dreams because you don't want regrets. At 60, clarity sharpens. You understand what truly mattered all along. You realize legacy isn't about money, it's about impact. Today's episode is deeper than strategy. It is about transitioning from one season of life to another and asking yourself what happens next. A season when everything shifts from what is familiar into what is unknown. Although I created this episode for empty nesters looking for their what next stage, but honestly, it's for anyone who feels that quiet nudge to finally write or carry on a project that they've been keeping on their someday list for so long. Everyone wants a legacy of some sort, but most people think legacy is built through money, through status, through trends, through titles. But legacy is not what you can accumulate, it's what you can articulate, what you can understand. Your story are the lessons you learn the hard way, the mistakes that shaped you, the victories no one saw, the quiet resilience that kept you going. That is your intellectual inheritance. And if you don't write it, who else will? It disappears with you. The smartest way to turn your story into a legacy is not to wait until you feel ready to do so. Not to wait until life slows down, because it never does. Not to wait until someone gives you permission to start writing. It is the document while you are still living and you are sound enough to do your own projects. To extract the wisdom from your experience, to shape it into something transferable, to package it in a way that uplifts you. Who are you and why a children's book? Who are you and why a children's book? You might be in your late 40s, your 50s, your 60s. You may be married, widowed, thriving in a career, or suddenly unemployed after years of raising a family. Maybe your income is now stable. Maybe it's uncertain, but here is what I know. You are not starting from scratch. You are starting from experience. You've lived, parented, you've failed, you've rebuilt, you've loved deeply. And children's book, they need that depth that only you can give. You are not too late. You are layered. And it might be your entry point into writing other genres. Where are you hanging out right now? Some of you are on Facebook. Some are quietly scrolling Instagram. Some are on YouTube at midnight watching how to publish a book videos. You follow authors, you follow motivational pages, you save posts, but you haven't started yet. Not because you can't, but because you are unsure. A great way to move forward is to start letting others know what you are planning. Well, people you love or people that love you. Do you have key teaching points? Then create a post on Instagram or Facebook using Canva. Canva, the cheap version of Canva, will work. Create a post and let people know what you're writing on. Let me guess. You are a woman over 40 and you want to write your first children's book? My mind reader? Absolutely not. But I am obsessed with helping women like you launch their first children's book in 90 days. Yes, you heard me right. In 90 days. No tech experience? No worries. Feeling too old? We'll talk about that. Worried your story isn't good enough? We talk about this one too. Inside my membership, you get personalized coaching for 90 days, plus support inside a private community of women just like you. We do this in 4 easy steps. First, you become the project manager of your own book. Second, you learn how to manage your creative team, your editors, your illustrators, and your designers. Third, I walk you through self-publishing click by click without overwhelm. And finally, we talk about marketing and book launching, so your book doesn't stay hidden forever. This is risk-free, supportive, and designed to help you turn your story into a legacy. So if becoming a published author of your own children's book has been on your heart for years, please don't ignore this again. Click on the link below this video because your book is waiting for you. Let's get to work. If you're going to start any project, you need a space on your calendar to put that project in. So what is your typical day like? Let's be honest, your days might look like this. Will you wake up, coffee, maybe household chores, maybe caring for aging parents like I do, walk the dog, cook, Netflix, scroll, and somewhere in that day, can you find a spot to put your writing? To put your projects, not some physical space, but some emotional space and a spot on your calendar. The space that you use to allocate to your kids' activity. That space is not a void. It's an invitation to start using that same old space to do something new. To get you started, pause to view your writing journey so far. You've probably written stories for your kids when they were little, told them bedtime stories that were never written down, started a manuscript years ago that you abandoned, opened a Word document and closed it because you thought, who would even read this? You may have bought a course, watched webinars, saved Pinterest boards, maybe even invested in a program that didn't get you across the finish line. Not because you are incapable, because you needed a bit of structure, accountability, and someone who understands this season of life. My guest in the last episode felt this way. I will link that episode in this episode show notes to inspire you about my guest, Ellis. She finally wrote her book for her grandkids. They were her reason, and now she has written 45 books. You need to read. You need to tune into her story. That is Ellis. What about you? If I fast forward 12 months from now, what does it look like for you? Are you holding your book with your name on the cover? Your grandchildren or future grandchildren reading it? Your community seeing you differently? You see yourself differently? You feel proud that you were able to accomplish something, start a project, and finish. Are you focused? Maybe it brings in income. Maybe it brings in credibility. Maybe it brings in legacy. But more than anything else, it proves that this chapter of your life is not a closing scene, it's a beginning of bigger things to come. Just because the kids are no longer there doesn't mean that you are not useful. It means that you can now show up in another space doing the things that you enjoy doing. The question now is, what is really standing in your way? What are the roadblocks? I'm not tech savvy. I don't know where to start. What if it's not good enough? What if no one buys it? I don't have time. I don't even know the steps. And underneath all of that, could it be fear, perfectionism, a lack of clarity, not a lack of ability, but clarity? And here is another real frustration no one is talking about. The most frustrating part isn't the writing, it's feeling stuck between the desire and the execution. It's watching your younger creators move boldly while you are overthinking it. It's you thinking, maybe I have missed my window of opportunity. No, you haven't. No, you didn't miss any window. You were previously building a life. Now you are building your own legacy, writing your own story. What needs to change in order for this to happen? In the next few weeks, here is what must shift. You move from someday to scheduled, from I will try to I am committed, from I'm just thinking about it to I am building this. And that starts with structure, clear steps, a realistic plan, not hustle, not overwhelm, not comparison, but a strategy that can help you move from point A to point B. So here is an invitation for you. If anything in this episode sounded like you, if you are empty nester trying to start something new or trying to write your first children's book, which I am so passionate about, or you're a woman over 40, even with the children still at home, or simply someone who knows there is a children's book inside you, you don't have to figure it out alone. DM me on Instagram or fill out the contact form in this episode show notes. Tell me where you are stuck. I will personally get back to you with next steps. Because this season of your life deserves direction. Thanks for tuning in to the Minute Mastery podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who could use more time in their day. And remember to subscribe, check out the links in the show notes, and leave us a review. Until next time, you are in control of your time and you've got this.